Welcome to the PR Maven Podcast, a podcast all about growing your network and building your brand through traditional and digital networking techniques. I'm Nancy Marshall, the PR Maven and CEO of Marshall Communications. Stay tuned for this week's episode, and thanks for listening. Welcome to the PR Maven Podcast. This week's episode is episode number 165, entitled Why It's Invaluable When People Say, I've Heard of You. This is one of our mini episodes, a quick and informative look at some of my Forbes Agency Council columns. This podcast is presented by Marshall Communications, creator of the 65-step Marshall Plan process. For more information, visit marshallpr.com. And on the website under PR Maven, you will also find information about my two books entitled PR Works and Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand. This week, I'm going to share my Forbes Agency Council entitled Why It's Invaluable When People Say, Oh, I've heard of you. So let's dive right in. What does it mean when someone says, I've heard of you? It means that your brand has value, and hearing that only adds more positive capital to your brand, unless you're known for the wrong reasons, of course. If people have heard of you, then the power of word of mouth is working in the background on your behalf. The sales pitch is already on its way. You're not starting from ground zero. Of course, this doesn't happen overnight. Building and cultivating a brand can take years, if not decades. Perhaps you may even have to rebrand, which takes even more time. The talking points have to change. As Warren Buffett famously said, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. Truer words have never been spoken. So the question becomes, what do you need to do for people to hear about you and recognize your brand? Here are 10 ways to get yourself heard. Number 1, build your online profile. The first place to start is LinkedIn, where professionals come to connect. Set up a LinkedIn profile that engages others and make sure that you have a robust summary section with keywords related to your target audience. Consider writing weekly blog posts on your area of expertise to engage that audience. Number 2, build out your connections. Connect with as many people as possible on LinkedIn and otherwise who are current and prospective customers and clients, vendors, neighbors, and supporters. Even if they are just friends, it never hurts to make your social web as large as possible. Who knows what could come of it? Number 3, engage with those connections daily. Reach out to others by liking, sharing, or commenting on the content they are posting. This will help raise your profile among your target audience, but it needs to be done on a daily basis. If you do it too sporadically, people are more likely to forget about you. Number 4, personalize your outreach. When you send an invite to connect with someone else, personalize that invite and let the other person know how you know each other. You want to come across as warm and not just a hustler in search of a personal or professional gain. Tailor your message and keep it friendly. Number 5, leverage your organizations. Everyone belongs to an organization, if not more than one. Tap into those networks, even if it's just the alumni association of your college or other schools you have attended. Share your news with their monthly or annual newsletters. Education is a bond for life. I remember my mother saying that when I was going to go to Colby College. She was going to say, or she told me, it's not really what you're going to learn, it's who you're going to meet. She was right. Number 6, correspond with local news. You can always share your news with your local newspaper, whether you secured a new job or a promotion, or you've won an award that deserves recognition. Local news outlets always seek out content that has to do with people in their backyard, and corresponding with them proactively can set you apart. Number 7, write an opinion piece. Write an op-ed column or a letter to the editor that has to do with current events or new developments in your industry. This can go to a local newspaper or even a national one, such as the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. If your news isn't interesting to a reporter, the opinion section is a viable option. Number 8, don't forget about handwritten notes. Whenever you meet a new person, either personally or professionally, send a note in the mail telling them how pleased you were to catch up and make plans to follow up. In today's day and age, handwritten notes have fallen by the wayside, but people will appreciate you for going to the trouble. Number 9, set up coffee meetings with leaders. You can never go wrong with coffee, and cafe or virtual meetups are a fun way to get to know people who are leaders in your community or a given industry. Engage in conversation and really listen to their story so you understand what they care about. People love a good listener. Number 10, volunteer for a local nonprofit. Link up with an organization that interests you, whether it's the local library, a sports team, or your town's historical society. Not only will you be able to network and make connections, but it's also just the right thing to do. Give and you shall receive. Once you start applying these tips, you will find other ways to raise your profile and become more well known for what you do. Clients will be willing to pay a premium for your services, and they will be more likely to know, like, and trust you. Having that kind of brand equity is priceless. For more insight, get access to my latest book, Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand, by visiting prmaven.com/giveaway and download a free copy today. Here is my good friend, Julene Gervais, to share how Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand has helped her.
Hi, I'm Julene Gervais, host of the television program Greenlight Maine. Nancy Marshall's book, Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand, helped our team tremendously develop a loyal following, and it helped us expand with 2 television programs called the Greenlight Maine College Edition and Elevating Voices. Plus, we've picked up 3 Emmy nominations. I highly recommend you read Nancy's book to grow your brand.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the PR Maven podcast. I invite you to share a review of the podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. You can also join the PR Maven Nation on Facebook. It's free to join, and it's a great community of like-minded individuals who are all looking to learn and grow from one another. If you use an Alexa device, use your Alexa app to search the Skills and Games section to find and enable the PR Maven Podcast Flash Briefing. This will give you access to exclusive content and more PR and marketing advice. Thanks again for listening, and have a great rest of your week, PR Maven Nation.